So you're saying that you weren't aware of the damage to the air conditioning unit.
No.
And you're saying you should not have been aware because that's not within the realm of what you did.
Right.
And you're saying, and in any event, you did see an air conditioning unit, but it didn't immediately reveal that it was damaged in any way. And in any event, again, you don't do that kind of work.
That thing is so complicated. It runs from the back to the front.
But with respect to the alignment of the doors, isn't that your responsibility?
Right, and like I said, those
how
could
much
be...
did you charge the plaintiff for the alignment of the doors?
I wouldn't have charged him for it. If it was leaking, I would have just tightened it down to make sure it wasn't leaking anymore.
If he told me that
How
it
much
was
did it
leaking,
cost you to replace the back door?
he bought the back door, and we charged him roughly...
Is that about 0.8 hours to
I see-
assemble the whole back lift
I see
gate?
0.8 hours. Yep, that's correct. So not even $60.
Does that surprise you tremendously when you have that extensive damage that, like, it could be maybe not perfect the first time around? Does that happen?
Right,
And they
it
got
could
to
be
come
small
and bang
adjustment.
something else in?
Yeah,
or-
loosen a screw, move things around, check the seals, make sure everything's closing up nice.
So this is not an uncommon occurrence for someone to say, like, something's a little off in the body
yeah.
repair.
Right.
They come in, you repair it free of charge. Okay,
Yeah.
I have what I need.
Any more questions, Judge?
I'm good.
All right. We're going to excuse the litigants while we deliberate in this matter. Thank you very much.
This courtroom is now in recess. There are two issues here. The AC, and then you have the leaking of water inside. The AC seems to be the issue that the plaintiff is more concerned about and is claiming to have spent $5,200.
Yeah,
in
I
addition
think
to
that's probably the only amount
the
that
only
he
issue.
paid.
The defendants say that's not something we would have worked on anyway.
I think it's true. It wouldn't be something that they worked on. I mean, and you could start with their name.
Exterior.
You know, it's an exterior,
Yeah.
it's a body shop. Based on what I see here, I don't see that he could prove that they should have been aware of a defective air conditioning box in the vicinity of the damage. You know, there's a statement made by the Toyota people, but there was nothing wrong with it. I don't think that they're responsible for that.
Look, I feel for the plaintiff because I do believe that he went in not knowing that much about cars, and he thought he was getting a full repair on his car when he went to this body shop.
Yes.
And it may very well be that they should have told him or they should have noticed that there was a problem with the air conditioning, but I don't think he's proven that.
No.
And I think even if he did, he still would have spent the same $6,000
Right.
to have it fixed.
Right.
So what are his damages in that instance, right? Because we have to look at not only were they negligent in their duties somehow, but how was the plaintiff damaged?
Right. Well, I would move from the air conditioning issue to
Yes.
alignment, which is
Correct.
giving me more trouble.
Yes.
Because the alignment is within their realm of expertise.
But he didn't ask Toyota to realign the car because he said he wasn't really concerned about that.
These were issues that they, I think, noticed. It was in the notes in terms
was
of
in
what
the
the
notes.
problems,
Yes.
but what they fixed.
So
was
he
the
didn't
AC.
say he paid for the alignment.
No.
Nor
has-
did he produce anything indicating
He didn't produce
that he paid
Correct.
for the alignment.
That wasn't his concern.
So I think
we don't
we-
know what the cost would be. And what we do know, the only evidence we have, is the charge by the defendants to the plaintiff to completely assemble the liftgate back on was a 0.8 hours charge. The most I would be inclined to give him would be the 0.8 hours they spent assembling and aligning the rear gate, which he said would be 0.8 times 60, about $50. I'm prepared to award that to him because that was the time they spent assembling it that wasn't done correctly. But he's not asking for that money back.
No, he's not.
So his claim here today is entirely about the money paid to Toyota for additional auto repairs.
So we're in agreement that we are not going to award the plaintiff the court's maximum because he's suing for the money he spent at Toyota to repair the AC, something that the defendants don't do.
Right. They didn't undertake to
Correct.
do it.
And the
it's
money
not
that he
their-
paid them was not for that. They did not say, we will give you back an air-conditioned car, and they failed to do that. They did the work they promised. It just turned out there was other work that needed to also be done. And that doesn't mean that they're responsible for that additional work.
He failed to meet his burden that they were responsible for the air conditioning. And there's no evidence that they should have been aware of the damage.
And even if they were,
And even
they
if-
would have been like, well, we don't do it.
He would have had to pay the money to get that repaired anyway.
So
he has not met his burden.
fails. He fails.
We have a verdict.
We have a
We do.
verdict.
Okay.
It's unanimous.